Look at this. Look at that. This is a book called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. And it was written by Thomas Kuhn, K-U-H-N, Thomas S. And this is the 3rd edition. You say 3rd edition? Why do you have to have 3 different editions of the damn thing? Couldn't you get it right the first time? No, this is the point. This is the structure of scientific revolutions. It allows for information to come in that we can study it and realize how things might be coming forth and what things can be left behind. It's Thomas Kuhn. He's talking about paradigm shifts. Thinking outside of the box. I mean, look at this. I hadn't finished the book. I was reading it on a light rail when I was in San Jose. This is the way I write notes on the back. There's all kinds of stuff in here. This is how I read a book. When I'm finished reading it, I go back through all my notes. I have page numbers and things like that. And not just page numbers. I put paragraphs on it too. So I don't have to read the whole damn page to know what it was that I found to be fucking legitimate and reasonable. Page 129. Although a paradigm shift regarding God / the Trinity and the devil, quadrility, whether it functions to dispel or focus present religious standards must affect change in worldviews unless the truth. These are my notes. I'm reacting to it. I'm reading about what he's saying. And it's like, I'm not going to go through all this. There's way too much in here for a book that's only half read. There's more. People don't like to write in books. They say it's a fucking sin of some sort. But you know what? It's going to be burned anyway. And look, this was a fantastic book. I was very happy with it as I was reading it. And I've got, oh, look, there's a picture. What's that? Oh, that looks like me. Let's pass through here a little bit more. Oh, there's another one. That was me. Oh, I know there's another one in here. I saw it as I was flipping through before I started this thing. Oh, there it is. There's your hanged man right there. The one leg's supposed to be crossed, but that's it. Or is it inverted? Oh, I don't know. There are pictures all over the place. I use them as, what do you call it? They're bookmarks. But what I want to get... Oh, there's one written on the back of this. I'm going to be Spider-Man when I grow up. Oh, there he goes. Da-da-da. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Oh. Oh my gosh. I don't know. There's a feather. I don't even know what kind of feather that is. It's a California bird. And it's on the same page as Kenny Justice when I was in the Army, when he had his operations awareness diploma. Now he's a certified drunk, he said. Ha! They call that operational awareness when they send you to AA in the Army. That's the first guy I ever saw when I came up to my unit. The point is, oh look, airplane ticket. I've got these things all over the damn place. But the one that I did notice right in the beginning, right here, we're talking about paradigm shifts with Thomas S. Kuhn. And this one is talking about phlogiston. Does anybody remember phlogiston? Oh, it was this feeling of ether in the air. That's how they felt, like what caused things to burn and stuff before they knew about oxygen. But the thing I've got written down there, phlogiston, suggesting fire to be an element, something theory extracted from the air, discarded with the onset of pneumatic chemistry. So, oh look, that Klavi Gustafsson just made a comment. I don't have time to read it. It just popped up on the screen. Hi, Gustafsson girl. But it's the idea that all of science had belief systems. And this whole phlogiston thing is something that they all believed. And then somebody came up with it and said, it doesn't work that way. And they're like, ah. And so those people that say it's not working that way, they're in a paradigm. 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 Third in the state of Michigan spelling bee when I was in high school. Or junior high or whatever it was. It's the idea of when people say something about thinking outside of the box. Oh, you really think outside of the box. It's like, I think this is a fucked up box to begin with. The boundaries aren't as wide as they should be. Don't hold me in this fucking box. It's a paradigm shift. You'll hear it talked about with individuals, like, okay, that person thinks outside of the box, that person thinks outside the box. But I did get far enough into this book to see the points where he's talking, oh, I got well beyond that. He's talking about a paradigm shift. It's like when everybody finally realizes that this box they're thinking outside of, it's detaining them. They can't think out as widely as they'd like. And it finally, when all the people come around together to realize that it's common knowledge, that's an idea, then it can spread. But what really happens, he talks about this in here. He speaks of how eventually those people that are the masters of the box, when they see enough people seeing the truth for what it is, and they can quit holding on to the lie, the detention that's been pressed upon them, if there are enough people that decide, yeah, that makes sense, they'll come over to your side. Because naturally, you know, orangutans, they go out in the wilderness for months on end, the adult males, and you don't know what they're doing. They just go out there by themselves. I'm sure they're thinking. And they say that's the difference between that great ape, the orangutan, and the great ape that happens to be Homo sapiens sapiens. No tail. We're apes. The thing with humans is we're more socially driven by nature. Some of us, I think my grandma was fucking that orangutan they had in the shed all those years anyway. That's where I came from. I don't fit in with your mindset. Oh no, well, they call him Old Jack. I'm coming up on something right here. My cigarette went out, but I'm right to it. This human stance that we put ourselves upon, we're totally driven by the opinions of others. And so if others are doing this, then we're like, well, we have to do it. Because we know that those fuckers will burn down our house and rape our fucking children, something like that. So you go along with it. But here it is. It's time for a paradigm shift. I just today, again, started to think about how political polling for an upcoming election is a crime. It's a sin. They should outlaw it. They should get rid of it. God should say, no, you cannot poll the masses. You have to let their faith be shown through their own hearts, their own minds, their own words, their own strengths. But here it is. The way I see polling done for elections and such, surveys, and they say it again and again as it comes up and as it comes up and as it comes up, because they want to force their ideas down people's throats and make them feel like they're going to be left alone if they decide to make their own decision. You better follow us or there's going to be trouble. We need to get rid of polls. You can have them in the swamp, in the deep state. These people need to know, these people that are running need to know where they're at so they know when to shut the fuck up and sit down, of course. But we should not be sharing this with the public, because what's the public do? It's exactly what happened in that supposed thing where the Russians infiltrated the 2016 elections and made every neighbor say, well, you know what I just heard? And the neighbor says, oh, I know I'm not going to look it up, so I got to believe you. And they go on and they tell the next. I think it's time we quit putting out the statistics and political polls, political surveys. All they're doing, and it's exactly what we're seeing right now with that poor guy. He just keeps saying shit, and everybody thinks, well, he's saying it. And when you talk to the next fucker that you used to be friends with, and he's saying that the things he believes, he's not saying what he believes. He's saying what he's told. They're quoting everything that poor guy said. So what is he doing? He's trying to make everybody feel like they're going to be left out. He's trying to scare people into supporting something that isn't going to do them any good to begin with. But it's like that time in science class, the one time there was a question about milk, how it sits across the, and everybody raised their hands and they said, who thinks it's like this? And I raised my hand. And because I knew, I put some reasoning into it because of how things stick and how they'll hold on, how gravity and magnetics, electromagnetics, and strong and weak forces work. And I was the only one sitting there with my hand in the air, and he looks at me and he says, you sure? And I'm like, and I thought to myself, 7th grade, I remember thinking, I'd rather be the only one that's right than to join a group with these fucking monkeys who are just listening to each other. It's time we got rid of fucking polling statistics on TV. Scaring and enticing and encouraging and just driving people to hold each other close because, well, it's time for a paradigm shift. It's time to let these people take their own future into their own hands. You'd be amazed how much better they'd feel about themselves if they were to look it up and understand on their own and make an educated decision instead of just repeating the lies that come on to us. Time for a paradigm shift. Think outside the box? No. Push down the fucking walls. The structure of scientific revolutions applied to politics in the Judas Way.